Hello, this is CJ. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And of course, I am barefoot and in the kitchen. But look, this is an egg in this skillet, nonstick skillet. Uh, Four of them, four eggs, and then topped with some Colby cheese. I did this in this skillet. This is slices of fillet. So, yes, fillet, very expensive fillet. But I just had it in the freezer and needed to use it, so I took it out to thaw. I put a little bit of water and a little bit of beef bouillon, and then cooked it tenderly. It's very tender. And then what I'm going to do is take some of the sauce and put some of the au jus and pour it over the egg. I'm going to let it sit for a second, and then I'm going to take this out and fold it omelet style, if I can manage to do that. And then we'll see what's up. Hang on. Dun dun dun. This is an omelet, so, and it's a big fluffy omelet. Just four eggs that I whisked. Put the cheese on top, and then yeah, it's really good. This would be like a premium. If I were doing this in a restaurant, if I were cooking this for somebody, this would probably be a $45 omelet. You know, seriously, like because of the beef, you know, because you really do a markup in a restaurant. It's significantly cheaper to do this at home. But yeah, because this is, and see, the cheese melting and kind of getting this. You want to let this sit for a minute and just let everything just kind of mingle. You could put whatever you wanted. If you wanted some chives, little bits of onion, bell pepper, or something like that. But yeah, I'm not trying, this isn't anything special as like, oh, I'm going to create a special thing. It's more like, hey, uh, eggs have predominantly good carb, and I want to raise that in my blood while lowering. Good cholesterol, predominantly good cholesterol, according to research that I've done, and then so I'm not an expert, but then so I want to raise the good cholesterol and lower the bad cholesterol, and eggs are kind of a way that we can do this, provided we don't use, like I used just a touch of butter, just maybe like what you might think of as a restaurant sized pat of butter, but real butter in the bottom of the skillet just to give it a touch of flavor. But other than that, this is a very healthy kind of omelet. Uh, the more things you add to it, uh, um, you get further and further and further away from the nexus point of like perfection for diet, whatever it is that you're doing. So, all the little extras that we throw on the condiments, every little bit of spoonful or something of a ketchup or mayo or something that we put on a burger takes us a little bit less healthy. So it's those extra things that'll get us. So if we can scale back on that, those of us who are being health conscious, that can help. But this is good. This is a good, healthy omelet. Some bell peppers would have been good or something like that. But um, onions will turn into, they have a sugar of their own. So the sweetness of it. So you want to be careful about too many onions. But yeah, this is going to be great. Now that this is sat here, I'm going to take it over and taste it, and then we'll see what's up. I already know it's awesome. Hang on. So I'll probably eat about half of this tonight, which is just after midnight, so it's really in the morning for me. But yeah, because my uh, carb, calorie, and cholesterol count, that all starts over, reboots at midnight. Uh, so yeah. Um, so let's taste this. Let's see what's up. You could tell this is tender, right? Because you can almost just go into it with the fork. Uh, And the only thing I did is I marinated this with a little bit of beef bouillon and water, nothing excessive. And it didn't, it's well done, but very tender. The reason why it's well done, oh, it's good, is because it was going into an omelet. And I just don't know that like a big bloody beef fillet would be like, mm. I don't know if it would look appetizing inside of an omelet. Very cheesy. Uh, Cheese is not too wonderful for lowering cholesterol, bad cholesterols, but um, I have scaled back and have not been excessive, so I can enjoy cheese sometimes. And this is kind of cool because there are some things like I should moderate, cholesterol, some cholesterols, just in the same way that I should moderate carbs and work on portion control. And I can alternate out those days that I need to, maybe there's some day where, you crave a cheese dish like this. So you indulge. Well, that can happen on a different day than when it's time for a break from the keto plan, because this is all in keeping with keto. But every once in a while, I have to indulge in like carb. This is cholesterol, basically, is the risk from too much cheese, higher cholesterol. So on the day that I take a cholesterol break, does not have to be the same day that I do a keto break. Thus, motivating me, giving me a little bit more freedom to stay on those diets even longer in between breaks. How about that, So yeah, but honestly, I think this right here, I think this bit here, I don't know. I'm already getting full. I know things are working because I weighed in at my gym today. As I was leaving, I do a weigh in when I get there, and then I do a weigh in as I'm leaving, and I'm doing routines that are reducing me because I did get to my goal weight, and it's like awesome, and I'm just so very very close to. That's very near what the ideal weight should be. So what I've done was I've set up like, hey, 5 pound goals, like get to the weight that I need to be. 5 pounds less at a time, like lose 5 pounds uh, over this to maybe 3 week period and lose, until I get to where I'm supposed to be. And believe me, I'm right on top of that. So to be someone who at one time uh, was overweight enough to have been told, hey, and also, age also, maybe I could have endured it a little bit more if I were a little bit younger too, I guess. I don't know how this goes, but they were always concerned with when they start talking about this, it wasn't so much about age, it was more about, uh, you know, with diabetes type 2, there's a definite correlation between body mass and symptoms, diabetic symptoms, A1C, and the real culprit is blood sugar, and A1C is uh, basically it's code for blood sugar, so yeah, because the sugar gets made into A1. I don't know all the biology of it. It wouldn't be that hard to figure it out, but they're basically A1C basically means blood sugar. Uh, um, they're not necessarily uh, cellularly interchangeable or anything like that. But the sugar is converted, and eventually it's the A1Cs uh, that we're that we have too many A1Cs in our, I don't know, whatever. But they're, you know, when they're measuring blood sugar, they look at A1C. I can measure my blood sugar every day, but I actually did not have to do that. I did that maybe for the first year, and I stuck my finger, and I did it throughout the day. Anytime that I felt off, even. And I'm such a hypochondriac about things like this, as you can tell, that I had no idea. Was I experiencing anxiety because I was anxious about my health, or was I experiencing anxiety because my um, blood sugar was off? You know, because the physical affects the emotional, and the emotional affects the physical. And when it comes to something like this, that has a lot to do with lifestyle, it basically, as well as food and everything affecting the body, then it must be treated holistically. And the very first thing when I conquered it, when you know when I went in and I did that weigh in a few years ago, and they wanted to know, they like, what did you do? They literally had me do a questionnaire, and they took a, and it's like, if I'd have known this, I would have worn some clothes that were not so baggy, because I had this, you know, that big old huge puffy silver jacket that I wear in the wintertime. Sometimes I had that on, and I didn't really have I don't know. So yeah, I wasn't even thinking as I took the picture at that big huge. So you couldn't even like see the weight loss in the picture that they took for it. But they did a you know, just they wanted to know. They wanted, like, I was able to inform them on what I did, because it was not exactly what they suggested. As a matter of fact, um, they did prescribe glucophage, but I never got around to getting the glucophage filled. Uh, getting it, I never got around to getting it filled at the pharmacist. Uh, you know, the pharmacy, because like I went in and it was like some issue with my insurance not wanting to cover it or something like that. The way it was written, I don't know. And then at this time, I really just did not have extra money for, like, I mean, it wasn't an option. Like, I had to, like, it was, let me make a choice, you know, what do I want to do here? And this was, yeah, the year before COVID was when that was. I think I've been doing this thoughts about my health and everything. Yeah, I'm done. This is cool. The thing, the concerns about my health, the dieting, the exercise, and everything. I think I've been working on it for about 4 years. I will tell you, first thing I did was cut out sugary drinks, and I want to say the first 12 pounds within 2 to 3 weeks. I have never experienced that uh, level of weight loss, because I never had to. I never thought about it before, you know. But I'll tell you what happened. It was like, whoa. Uh, That was amazing. And then the rest of it, that was the freebie part of it. And the rest of it, I really kind of had to work. I had to walk around, had to do some physical stuff, had to work on now. But I knew that was the big challenge, because I was raised on Coca-Cola. I mean, I had it in my sippy cup as a baby, you know. Uh, it was the 70s, you know. So, yeah. So here's the thing. Um, Making little moderations to my diet along the way as I've learned. I didn't know everything. At first, I had to learn about keto. Like, really, the keto that I did was not so much, it was not called keto at the time when I first heard about it. I was aware of a man who lost, and he yo yoed, because he would do this diet and then he would go off of it and the weight would come back on, and he yo yoed. He would yo yo. He he'd go, he'd be close to 300 pounds and he'd lose uh, right around 100 pounds from, extreme uh, keto dieting, and then uh, quit and put it back on. And in the long run, that didn't do anything for his health, because the yo-yo eventually, that was for a few years, and then eventually he just kind of like burned out. And he was like, so these little choices, these little changes that I make, these disciplines that I make about when I want to do my physical uh, workout. Just sometimes it's fun listening to music and just moving around. I enjoy taking those walks. Um, I enjoy some gym work, even though I'm reducing. So uh, I'm not like a big bodybuilder, hard body buff dude. I'm not worried about that. And then, but these little things that I've decided, these little disciplines, uh, you know, they become routine. They become part of what I do. And I find the enjoyment in it. And I find, you know, what can I say? Um, Pride in doing things that are healthy, a little bit more healthy anyway. That kind of informs my wanting to take, healthy steps with diet. Uh, so yeah, I don't think of it as depriving myself. I think of it as an opportunity to um, make healthier choices most of the time, and then occasionally I get to indulge. And when I do, I really enjoy, like, say, like a Snickers bar. Well, if I don't eat a Snickers bar, except for, well, actually, I don't know. I'm not really that concerned because these suckers are good. I have every couple of days, I may delve into something like this. Um, for one thing, this fills up a lot of requirements, a lot of nutrient requirements as far as like calories, you know, and cholesterol, no cholesterol. How about that? There's a sodium. You maybe want to maybe look at cutting back on sodium. There's 140 milligrams. That seems that's 6% of the daily value, whatever that means. But there's 21 grams of carbs, so you can get away with about 2 of these in a day in a 24-hour period, provided this is your only source of um, so there's yeah, so you want to read labels and everything. And I was about to do the whole thing, but you can get away with eating 2 of those bars if the rest of what you were going to eat was going to be strictly keto throughout the day. um, you know and certainly cut back on that salt. you know but um, but they're good, they're delicious. So if I have something like that, then I don't feel like I'm missing a Snickers bar. But okay, say a slice of cake. If I have a slice of cake once every 2 months, uh, or something, because I'm not really, like, I'm not just not a big dessert person. If I do that, then it's like that's indulgent. But because I'm not having that all the time, I'm very much enjoying the cake that I might be eating. Because it's not something that I do every day. It is something that's a special occasion. It's kind of like Christmas uh, food when you make like Christmas cookies and roll them in powdered sugar and all those kind of we don't eat like that all the time. Most of us don't. So it's so much more of a reward because we do that during uh, the holiday season. Well, so imagine uh, that's what it's like for me when I eat like a decadent dessert. I don't have dessert every day. I know people that did. I remember being a kid. One of my cousins came over to the house one time. They were lived in the neighborhood. They came over to the house, and we were going to have dinner together as a family, a couple of families or whatever, and uh, the male cousin, he was like, "Oh, cool. Well, what's for dessert?" I'm like, I don't know that we have one." He's like, "Oh, really? Y'all don't, what do y'all normally have for dessert?" And like he was kind of like, flabbergasted that we don't have like uh, frequent desserts with the meal or whatever. And so I think it's because of that that I didn't become like partial to desserts because we didn't have them like all the time. On special occasions, holidays, events, lots of people in our family, so lots of birthdays. So we did get the birthday cakes and stuff, and we, would love some ice cream and some pudding and stuff like that. But when you go to school, a public school, you got to have a dessert on that tray. Otherwise, well, that's great, but it's a dessert every damn day. I don't know. So, anyway, um, I enjoy my life. I enjoy the choices that I make with food, and it's because that I have those times when I get to take a break from diet. That I really get to enjoy kind of loosening things up a little bit, a lot more. So, and I think adding the care of the cholesterol, being a little bit more, cautious of how much cholesterol my intake is going to be within a 24-hour period. I think that's going to even help me with portion control because if I had this diet that says I can eat as much as I want to eat, as long as it's not going to turn into carbohydrates in the body, like fiber is a carbohydrate, but that doesn't absorb in the body. But just about everything else really does absorb in the body as far as a carbohydrate goes. And so as long as I'm not doing that, I can eat whatever I want. Well, the new rule is, well, you could do that, but you also can't exceed uh, this level of cholesterol. You have to maintain your cholesterol. So that readjusts it. And what that's going to do is that's going to inform the way that the plates start to look. I'm finishing out the food that's in the freezer. And then, of course, there will be meats on the plate and everything, but there'll be some other adjustments, as I make that gradual change in really, really getting into cholesterol. So that's some things that we're going to be seeing, actually getting out of cholesterol. I want to raise the good cholesterol, lower the bad cholesterol, you know. So, yeah. What am I talking about? And why am I talking about it so much? Because it really isn't for other people at this point. This is for to talk myself and to psych myself into being having a healthier diet. So that's cool. But I also do want to invite you to come see us in Shreveport, Louisiana, and on your vacation road trip, stop over, and yeah. And then if you do, I want to hear about it. Get into the comments and let me know what you think about Shreveport. Okay, love and light, and peace, and good night.